Hello, Dart Payment here, author, angel, intuitive, and psychic medium, and I want to welcome you to my channel where it's all about intuitive development and magical living. And today, I want to welcome you to this free masterclass on how to overcome your fears and anxieties. This presentation was performed live over Zoom to my monthly Transformational Spirituality Circle at the beginning of August 2020. And it is packed full of monster tips and techniques on how you can overcome your fear and anxieties fast. As an added bonus, you will be able to participate in an amazing Miracles Blessing meditation at the end of this presentation, which is designed to realign your energy vibrations so that you become an instant mega match to that which you desire most. Because this masterclass is over an hour long, I lovingly included a chapters list in the description box and in the comment box below. This will allow you greater flexibility in navigating the content, as well as allowing you to take it in bite-sized chunks. Also, it'll allow you to go back in case you need to revisit certain sections of the content for greater clarity. I really enjoy giving you tips, techniques, and shortcuts to help you move forward in life with ease. And that's truly what magical living is about, right? So sit back, get some paper, and take notes if you wish, and enjoy.
I'm really excited about sharing this with you guys because, basically, think about it. Unparalleled times right now that you and I are experiencing for sure, right? Bringing with it tons of anxiety. And I'm having a lot of clients coming not only for spiritual counseling, but also for, intuitive readings because of fear. They need some higher guidance, wisdom. And I'm telling you, because of all the negative emotions that can truly reduce your capacity for staying on course and really attracting what you desire, fear is one of the most potent. And this means that right now, if you're anxious, stressed, and frightened about everything that might or could go wrong in your life right now, you're the exact person that's going to benefit from today's transformational circle. And you know what? If you are in that space, you're not alone. Right? I just shared with you, my spiritual practice has exploded recently with all the fears and worries associated with this pandemic. So I decided and was prompted once again to share with you some effective strategies to help you change your mindsets so that you can move forward with faith and confidence. Because here's the thing, and I think you guys know this, fear is like super glue. It can hold you back and keep you stuck on the idea of lack. And we know that there are only two constants in the universal flow, and that is love or fear, right? And so while fear keeps you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually caged, love fills you to overflow with positivity and heightens your energy vibration in such a way that makes your manifestation abilities more explosive than TNT. So let's take a look at what your key takeaways will be from this particular circle about the art of letting go of your fears and anxieties. Just tap here. Okay. Let me move my webcam away so I can see this clearly. I'm going to turn myself a little bit. Okay, so today's key takeaways. We're going to recognize the fear monster within you, and you will notice a monster theme on my slide share. I just thought I'd be a little bit playful because really when we look underneath our fears and anxieties, I mean, really they're all lies, and we buy into the lie and the story. And when you really take a look at what you'll learn to do today, what's really underneath there, it's hilarious. It just makes me, every time when I have a persistent fear and anxiety, I think of the little green monster right there with the one eye. It just cracks me up. So we're going to recognize the fear monster within you. We're going to demystify the real cause of fear and anxiety. We're going to get clear about what you want. If you're in a fearful situation, you pretty much don't know what your next step is. You don't know what you want, right? So we're going to share with you how to do that. You're going to learn how to get out of your own way. You're going to learn to let go of your fears and anxieties. And also, you're going to learn how to energetically place yourself in what I call mega receiving mode. You'll also learn how to radiate love in all you do in order to melt your fears away. And obviously, I share with you lots of tips and other techniques that will really benefit you along the line as well. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him, but perhaps you have. I mean, obviously, we had to go to history class. But Marcus Aurelius once said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It's all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Isn't that interesting? I love this quote, you guys, and it rings true because really it's your mindset that governs everything, right? Your mindsets are your go-to thoughts, beliefs, actions, and reactions that either positively support you or rip you to shreds. And when it comes to understanding and dealing with your fears and anxiety, you must learn how to reframe and shape them with the transformative energy of love. And you guys, when you begin to cash in just a cup of your fears at the bank of unconditional love, guess what? You get 100th fold in return. Because when you view things from the eyes of unconditional love, that naggy, whiny voice that's within you ceases to control you, which equates to absolute freedom and confidence in the workings of the universal law of attraction. So let's take a look at the things you can start doing immediately if you want to learn how to transform your fears and anxieties into love. Okay, here we go. Step one. There are three little micro steps to this, but step one is understanding your fears and, like I said earlier, recognizing the fear monster within you. And with this whole process of letting go of fear, there's actually two major steps, like I said, with some effective minor tips and strategies to help you exchange your fears and anxiety with freedom. So let's start with the first step, which is embrace and master your emotions. So transforming fear to love is not about denying the truth of the situation or repressing your fears and anxieties. You know, there's a common saying, and I know you guys have heard me say it even before. There's a common saying in universal law which states, what you resist persists, right? When you repress or deny situations, what you're essentially doing is allowing the same energy pattern to run your life. This means that embracing your fears, worries, and concerns instead of repressing or denying them is really essential to letting them go. And I have a really cool story that I want to share with you, a true, actual story about my own mother. I mean, you guys, for years, my mom would wake up from these horrible nightmares. We'd hear her calling out and screaming in her sleep. And you know, when you're young children, you hear your own mom do that, it scares you too, right? But what she shared with us, I think I was, by the time we finally asked, I think I was like 8 and my sister Deborah was 9 or something. But we asked her, well, what are you dreaming of that you're so frightened of? And she said, there's this thing in her dreams, and she'd dream it over and over and over, recurring nightmares, right? That would be chasing her. She said it was chasing her and chasing her, chasing her. And she said, one day, and this went on for years, the day that she had her freedom, I was 14 years old. And I'm never going to forget this. She said, one day in her dream, the thing was chasing her and chased her into this abandoned house. And she went in and she was in looking through the house, and she went in this big master bedroom, which is totally empty. The only thing that was there was a closet. And she was getting ready to leave and run out of the room, but she thought, you know what? No, I'm going to open the closet and finally see what's chasing me. This is getting so tiring for me. And she said she opened the closet, and guess what she saw? It was herself. Isn't that interesting? And she says, then her dreams immediately went away. It just went away. And even though this is in reference to a nightmare, the principle is exactly the same. You've got to give yourself permission to turn and face the monsters of your own fears and anxieties. So then once again, it's important to understand that transforming fear into the freeing energy of love, it's not about repressing or denying the truth of how you feel or the fearful situation itself. Not at all. But it's giving yourself permission to look at your own monster in the face so that you can fully embrace all of those fearful emotions, acknowledge them, and more importantly, to find a way to process them so you can just let them go. And letting go is crucial. You have to learn to let them go, and you have to give yourself permission to let them go. And this is a personal story I want to share about letting go, because you have to put yourself in this space of being willing to let go. Otherwise, your anxieties, your fears, they're just going to keep eating at you, right? The monster, it's going to chew at you and bite you. So I'll share this story about letting go. As a young attorney, I worked at various startup jobs, right? So, you have to, as a young attorney, basically you apprentice and you're junior attorney. So you do all the dirt work, which was okay because you learn, right? So the second really great job that I had, it was working for an attorney. I was an attorney for an insurance agency. And at that time, we were doing a personal injury. I wasn't into the medical malpractice side yet, but it was like personal injury, and we're doing some other, there was something else. I don't remember what it was. But anyways, the big thing where I was assigned was personal injury. So there was the boss over the particular office I was in, and we'll just call her Melinda. I'm not going to say her real name. Basically, she did not like the attention and all the kudos I was getting from the big boss. And she didn't like it. She hated it. She consequently hated me. And she made it well known to everyone she disliked me. And she made it well known to me. And what she would do to me all the time was spy on me and cause me all sorts of trouble. And I never did anything to this lady. So I didn't quite understand. But it started festering on the inside of me. It really started festering because I was with a client and I had to go to their office, and I'm in the conference room, and the secretary comes in and she whispers something to my client, and my client looked at me like kind of surprised, and she said, "That was Melinda. She's checking to see if you're at this meeting." And I said, "Well, that's weird." And she says, "I know. What's up with that?" And my own client said, it's obvious that she dislikes you. And I said, "Well, yeah, she does. But that's just how it is. This is an industry where I'm here to focus on you and not her." So I finally resolved this whole thing. I was driving home, and she was just calling me every 10 minutes. And I was not happy. And back then, you guys, we had those crazy flip phones, and we had pagers. So my pager is acting like it was singing an opera. It kept going off. She'd call the office. So I was driving, and I thought, I don't want to do this anymore. And my own spiritual team gave me a really important question to ask myself in order to let go. Okay, here it is. What if I just let all of this mental and emotional trauma go? This is the question. It's a power question, right? How would that look like? How would that make me feel? And I started thinking about that as I'm driving along. And I'm telling you something, there's something changed, because I just decided I'm not going to let her eat at me anymore. I'm just going to let this go. This is not serving my best and highest good. And I thought, well, how would that look like? If I let that go, how would that look like? And I thought, well, I don't have to take in her stuff. I don't have to take it personally anymore, because really the way she's treating me is obviously a reflection of how she feels about herself. So I'm not going to own her own self-reflection. That doesn't serve me. And if I buy into it, it's not serving her. And then I thought, well, how would that make me feel? And I thought that would make me feel like I'm back in the power seat, right? I'm re-empowering myself. And I'm telling you, just in one day, you guys, when I drove back to the office and I got in, and she was like a rhinoceros stomping at the door when I come in. And I just looked at her and I just said, well, hi. I said, did you need something? And she just melted. Because what happens, you guys, when you just let it go, you let go of all the mental and emotional vibration inside of your own energy body. So she couldn't really. I mean, my vibration changed. And remember, in law of attraction, your vibration will either lift up or go down with whoever's around who has the primary vibration. So, for instance, if I'm high vibrating like I was, she's going to match me. So I thought, I'm never going to go, stoop down to her vibration again, ever, ever, ever. So giving yourself permission to look your monsters in the eye in order to let the emotional hold it has on you go, it's the first key to tuning into the freeing energy love. So with this journal prompt, I put in your journal prompt. Obviously, I'm going to give you copies of these slides, and I give you guys a link if you want to watch the video again. But I challenge you, with your fears, what if you just let it all go, all the mental and emotional trauma associated to it, and just do this little journaling prompt for yourself. It's so freeing. You guys, oh, it's so freeing, and you would love yourself for doing it. Okay, so let's take a look at the next. The next key here is to write your fears down. And I know at the very beginning of the pandemic, we had a very special class about dealing with fears and stuff. And there was a technique I gave with you about writing your fears down. And if you didn't see that first class, please just email me afterwards. And I have a link where you can watch the whole video and take a peek at it. But it basically, I won't share that one. We'll get there in a second. But basically, with writing down your fear, you just get some paper, write down what's been worrying you. You just write it down. And when you do that, what you see is that some fears are actually ridiculous when you put it on paper. And it will be, when you put it on paper, then it'll be easy for you, because if you don't, you'll forget about them. So when you put it on paper, then it'll be easy for you to take a look at them and learn to forget about them. I mean, they're ridiculous. That's why I put the silly monster with the little party favor thing in its mouth. Some of our fears are so silly and so ridiculous. And we take a look at what's really underneath that, it just makes you laugh, right? But I think if you really want to get with the fear part, and I say this all over and over and over again to you guys, you need to write it down organically with a piece of paper and a writing utensil, and get all those feelings down on a page, out of your head and onto the page is what I like to say. And not in your computer, not on your tablet, on the page, because it's proven that when you take it and you physically write something, you get it into your neurology, right? You're doing that activity, and the conscious mind pays attention. That's why they say people who organically study, with their hands, they move, they touch things, they're organic, they're writing things down, they retain more. And this is proven. They learn and retain more. The percentages, it was something like 40% more than a person who just does it by, the old methods of learning, of rote, right? So the other thing, as I said earlier, when you start writing things down, and you might find fears that you didn't even know existed, you just start writing all the fears down. Because when you would list your fears, guess what? You'll notice that they have babies. So you'll think of one fear, oh my gosh, and all these baby fears pop up with it. And actually you might think, well, gosh, well, now I have all these fears. But actually it's a really good thing, because like I said, sometimes you have hidden fears that you never knew you really had. And the reason you never knew you really had them, you guys, is because you've given them space to live within your mind, right, for so long that they turned into defeating subconscious beliefs, and they've been running you. So finding these hidden fears and anxieties is a very healing thing, because once again, on the surface, once you see them, you can start the process of letting them go, right? And here are, and you guys, I just love journaling. You guys know me. Here are 5 really amazing journal prompts that will help you help you to calm your listen to me, your anxious mind. Sorry about that. All right. These are great. I use these, okay? The first is, today I choose to let go of the things I can't control, including. Okay, let me tell on myself here. I used that this morning with my beloved. Because, there's some things in life we get upset or anxious or worried about. We can't control it, right? We can't control it. We just can't. I can't put a lock on the refrigerator so my honey can't eat all the salty goodies that he likes to have, and overindulge on. I can't do that. I can't control it. So I use that journal prompt just today. The second is I recognize that I don't need to have all the answers right now. Today, I give myself permission not to know. That's a really good one. And this one, I love this one too, because the inner critic to me is Stanley. I named the inner critic Stanley, right? So I usually, instead of saying dear inner critic, I always say dear Stanley, and I write it down. You always focus on everything I'm doing wrong, but I know I'm doing a lot right, including. And so Stanley and I just have a little discussion. And then the fourth one, I know I'm strong enough to handle whatever comes at me because I've survived a lot, including, and you just write in there, obviously. And then the fifth one is instead of, excuse me 1 second, someone got knocked out here. Instead of worrying about making the wrong choices, I trust that no matter what I choose, and these 5 prompts are so, so valuable, and you will love them. And they will instantly help you not only let go, but it lets you see the nonsense that the ego mind has on you. So how are we doing so far, you guys? How are we doing? In the chat box, let me know if is this making sense to you? Are you getting some benefit so far? Let me know in the chat box. Great, cool, good, you guys, good, great. Okay, let's go. And by the way, these prompts, once again, they're very effective. Very, very, very effective. And I use these prompts with my spiritual counseling. I've been using these for, gosh, I was using them when I was doing spiritual counseling when I was the assistant minister for Unity Church of Temecula Valley way back then. So these really work. And people, whoever used them, always would tell me, because I'd make them do it with me right then and there. Wow, I feel so much better because I see things differently. Right? Okay, so the last key for transforming your fears and anxiety into the feeling of, or into the freeing energy of love is, let me touch my screen here, to demystify your fears. That means to free up more space for love and reduce the potency of fear, to deliberately seek to understand that fear. You look straight at it and you begin to figure out its roots, what it represents, so on and so forth, right? Like I said, a lot of our fears, it relates somehow to our own self-image. And I learned that and a lot of times when remember I shared earlier about some of the fears we didn't know, we don't realize they're there. It's because they become a sneaky part of our own subconscious beliefs. And our subconscious beliefs run us. And a lot of times when it has to do with your self-image, it has to do with low self-esteem. And I shared in a few of our presentations previously, and even with some people when I'm doing some, even just spiritual counseling, even in reading sessions with people, there are some really great ways that you can boost up your self-esteem right when you're sleeping. I go to this online, it's called, some people are getting kicked out, it looks like. It's called ASMR Psychologist, and you just listen to her as you go to sleep, and it really works. And there's another one too, where she just gives you affirmations all night long. So sleep affirmations are very, very effective. So that's a way that you can do that as well. Okay, so excuse me. Let me get a drink of water. Excuse me, you guys. 1 second. Perfect. Okay, but once again, we'll get back to one thing you can do when you're demystifying your fears. And I know this might sound like a lot of work to do, but demystifying your fears, you guys, is super simple. I'm not kidding. And I know I shared this technique with you guys at a previous meeting, like I shared when this pandemic just started. And simply, as I just shared earlier too, just write your fears and anxiety down one by one by one by one by one. And then right next to each of your fears and worries, ask yourself this very simple and very direct question. If this did happen, what would I do? Because the truth is that the underlying cause of your fear and anxiety is insecurity and uncertainty about the future. That's it, right there. And so when you list your fears and you use this freeing question, you actually give yourself permission to set up a game plan should what you fear actually occur. So it's no longer being in the dark about it, right? As I said, the underlying cause of fear and anxiety is insecurity and uncertainty about what's the next step about the future. So this power question, I'm telling you, in my own life is my go-to whenever fear tries to freeze me and flog me with its invisible whip. But for me, it's super effective because it allows me to immediately get to potential solutions and courses of actions that causes my fears to really crumble into nothingness. So in recap here for step 1, it's all about understanding your fears and recognizing the fear monster inside of you. And you do that by embracing your emotions, writing down your fears, and finally demystifying them. So what about step 2? Let's take a look at that. Oopsie. Ready? Okay. With step 2, what we do is release ourselves from the energy of that fear and anxiety. So there is energy of fear and anxiety that's locked inside of us. Each and every worry or fear, it's actually an energy component that's locked inside of us. And that's why I tell you that when you free it with the transforming power of love, things shift. Because really, your fear, it's not only about your own subconscious mind and beliefs, it's about the energy that fear has on you and it holds you into, right? When you focus on love, it's a very freeing, empowering emotion. And it brings with it freeing and empowering thoughts and clarity, right? So step 2, what we're going to do, what I'm going to share with you here, it's focus on bringing value to others, associate a special object with your transformation, to keep an open mind and heart, and to practice radiating love. So let's look at each of these a little bit separately. Okay. That's that funny guy now that we needed. The first one is focusing on bringing value to others, which means transforming your fears and anxiety with love by focusing on being of value to other people. Right? One of my mentors, Tony Robbins, he calls this being a force for good. And this technique, you guys, this is used in clinical psychology. It's been effective for almost 100 years because it works in different various fields of mental wellness, especially for patients who were suffering from clinical depression. Right? Because during their therapy sessions, the psychotherapist or psychologist would suggest that the patient volunteer some of their time or talents to another person. And the studies are so staggering at how quickly patients who actually went out and began to volunteer overcame their depression. And obviously, you don't have to be depressed to use this amazing technique, right? But the reason this technique is so effective is that it takes the focus off of yourself and your problems by instead focusing on the needs of another person. And when you're willing to be an active service to others, guess what? The stress cortisols in your body begin to normalize, and the feel-good hormones, the oxytocin, it begins to flood your neurology, which lifts your overall mood, right? So this in turn allows you to see things in a really clear and objective manner. So focusing on being of value to others is how you do what I call a judo flip with fear and throw it right on its head. And you really don't have to necessarily volunteer at a hospital, a nursing home, or a food bank to be of service and bring value to others people, right? One of the most important, meaningful gestures you can do is just to sit with somebody, just to sit with another person and just lend a non-judgmental ear to whatever they want to say. to provide empathy and encouragement and to just be present, holding space for that person. And this kind of love not only makes the world a difference to the other person, but it also fills you with compassion and loving kindness. So the next time you have a fearful feeling, or your anxiety is just tumbling over you, think of how you can offer love to somebody else in this way, to be a force for good for others, and then shift your attention to doing just that. I know that there was a movement some years back about paying love forward. And a lot of people, and this happened to me even when I was at Starbucks, to where somebody had bought my coffee, somebody in front of me. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to buy the person behind me's coffee. And the next day I asked the gal at the window, because I was doing drive-through at Starbucks. She said, wow, she says it went all the way to closing time, where the person would buy backwards. And I thought, that's so cool. So there's just a lot of things that you can do just to shift. I know whenever, and this is years ago too, when I would get really frustrated with my health condition because it just was not shifting for me. That I was done with the chemotherapy, but I still needed the platelets. And I thought, even though they made me feel good, you guys, I'm not going to lie, but it just got frustrating because I was just done with the doctors. I was done being the pincushion. I was just so done. And I got really just frustrated a lot of times. And when I would get frustrated, I would immediately think of something good I can do for another person, some loving little gesture, and it just knocked me out of that funk right away. The second thing we can do to shift the energy of our fear, and I love this too, is it's to associate a special object with your transformation. And this is actually really fun. Just as you might have one specific item that you connect to your law of attraction goals, you can actually assign something similar to the related goal of turning fear into love. I'll give you a beautiful story. My own spiritual team, when I did the shift from doing law full time into doing my reading practice full time and doing law part time, when I made that shift, excuse me one second. It looks like somebody keeps getting cut out here. I actually got a special gift from my own spiritual team, and my angelic team gives me gifts all the time. And I don't know how it came to me, but one day in the mail, there was 2 charms, and there was no address on it, but one was this tiny little teacup. It was really cute. And then one was a beautiful angel wing, and it was made out of gold. And I asked my husband, did you buy this for me? He says, no. So I don't know who was the earth angel who actually sent it to me, but and if you're listening here and you're on the video, thank you. But I know it was from my team, because my own Alyssa said, Dar, this is a gift from us. She said, put it on your chain and wear it. It's a cup of courage for you. And the angel ring is a reminder that we've got you covered. Basically, she showed me a vision of them, my team of 5, just covering me in their wings, just embracing me. So associating something like that with your special transformation, especially with fear, turning your fear into love. Remember a while ago when the movie The Secret was in and stuff, there was the gratitude rocks. You can associate something like a gratitude rock, or you can call it your courage rock, right? You can have a lucky charm, or maybe a certain crystal or gemstone. I'll share with you a really cool story. One thing that I used to do, and it has to do with the gratitude rocks, because I started doing this a long time, the movie The Secret, but one thing I used to do on the day of a court appearance, when I was still actively in the role of Miss Attorney, was to find a small rock or stone in the area outside the courthouse where I was going. And I would hold the rock or the stone, it would be very tiny, in the palm of my hand, and I'd imagine all of my nervousness pouring into that rock. And then as soon as all my nervousness went into it, the rock transformed that nervousness into love. And it came all the way back and soaked back into my skin. So I got the love, I got the fear out, and it went in the rock, and the stone transmuted it, and it went back into my skin. That's what I would visualize, right? So rocks for me, I mean, they're really easy to find. So if you want to try this, you would love it. But here's the things what I learned about later about this practice. It just one day I just had this epiphany that not only are rocks easy to find, but they're also an earth element, right? And they have a very calming and grounding quality. And you can do the same technique as I just shared with you with crystals and gemstones too. So other ideas you can maybe use if you want to use this associating a special object with your transformation, because especially with jewelry, like with my cup of courage, whenever I started feeling myself like I think I want to go back to law, I don't know, I would hold on to that little cup of courage and the little wings. I just put my hand on it and I would just be revitalized with courage, right? But you can use jewelry that's special, to help you focus on love. It could be a heart, it can be a rose, it could be a rose quartz, it could be a rose quartz pendant, and maybe even perhaps around your space, it could be burning a candle with a special scent that makes you feel peaceful, calm, and steady, or that makes you feel encouraged in some way. I mean, think about it. You can get really creative here, right? So anything that you can use that will associate your fear into love and courage. So I love this one, like I said. So the next strategy that we have is, come in here, is to keep an open mind and heart. The next time you feel fear starting to undermine you, fight to keep your mind and heart open to possible causes and courses of action. You can use the variation of the power question I shared with you earlier and ask yourself, and I love doing this. I use a variation, this same question. So I share with you guys what works for me, because you always support those who support you, right? And I love you guys and I want you to transform. But this is the alternative power question. It's this. What's the worst thing that can happen in regards to this? And if it did, what would or could I do? And it would always keep an open mind, because then I would have this beautiful line of questioning that was kind of like a give and take, and it quashed my fear, and then it replaced it with a sense of confidence and personal empowerment, and would do that for you too. So I'm going to repeat that because it was so good. To keep an open mind and heart, you can ask yourself this power question: what's the worst thing that can happen in regards to this? And if it did, what would or could I do? Okay, the last strategy to turn your fear, that energy and fear, into love, is to, let me come over here, practice radiating love. Practice radiating love as often as you can, right? And I shared this with you previously about paying love forward, right? How, just being in that space of love and being the force for good. This is a way of practicing of radiating love as well. But one way of radiating love is to show compassion and understanding to those around you. But you can do it by just, if you see somebody having a really hard day, you can just send some love their way. Imagine yourself hugging them, or just saying a really quick a prayer for them. But that's not the only way. There's a lot of things you can do to practice radiating love. One of the things you can do, and I love doing this as well, is just, if you don't want to say a prayer, and this one's really effective, by the way, because you're using your own energy and the energy of love. Just imagine seeing love come from your heart into others, right? You could see like love radiating. I see it like a light beam, a pink, beautiful light beam going from my heart to another person. And also you can do this with a community in need. You can do it to a person experiencing sorrow. And you guys, you can even do it to the entire world. One of the things I've been doing in my meditation practice in the morning towards the end is that I send love and light to the entire world. And I affirm healing for everybody. And I affirm for mental, emotional, and spiritual balance, and for clarity for every single living creature. And I just practice radiating that love from my heart to the entire globe. But here's one of my most favorite ways to radiate love. And I'm telling you, try this, you guys. Try it. It just works wonders. So, and I do this with my husband too. Don't tell on me, because it helps helps our, whenever we have a disagreement, it helps us come back into alignment. You know, I have a beautiful relationship with him. I just use him as an example. He's beautiful and wonderful, and you know, I'm telling on myself too, because it takes two. If there's a misunderstanding, it has to do with me, and I know that. Anyways, one of my most favorite ways is to look into somebody's eyes and mentally say, I love you. And I did that once with Melinda, the boss I told you about. She came in ready to fight with me, and I was sitting at my desk, and I was on the phone, and she's waiting, tapping her foot, waiting for me to get off the phone. And I hung up the phone, and I just looked at her. I looked in her eyes, and I just mentally said, I love you. And she couldn't even talk. She's like, I forgot what I was going to say. And I said, well, how are you doing today? I'm doing good. How are you? I said, I'm doing great. I'm almost finished with this project. She goes, well, continue then. And she just left. But the reason this works, you guys, and it's basically the eyes are the wind of the soul. And love has the ability to transform and turn things around, I mean, instantly, right? So the simple act of radiating love also brings you into vibrational harmony with abundance, putting in the right place to manifest what you want to see in your future. So in addition to the above, you might want to also consider doing one random, act of kindness each and every day, because we know that random acts of kindness not only lifts up your energy vibration, but it sends a wave of love forward to other people. And even if that person doesn't transform and repay that kindness to somebody else, you planted a seed of love. And the thing is, you guys, we all know this. We never know where someone is at during the day. When we meet people on the streets, I see people sometimes in the market, especially recently, and I see fear in their eyes. People are wearing masks, so I can totally look in their eyes and I see fear. And so I send love and light and I just cover them. Sometimes I even, imagine giving them a hug. Some people I can see in their energy body, they need attention. They need to be touched. And I know this pandemic for some is really hard because, they're isolating alone. They have to be sheltered in alone, and it can get much sometimes. So another thing, and this is Alyssa, she says, if you feel right now you need a hug, you call upon your spiritual team and you just sit in love and tell them to hug you. And she said, just wrap your own arms around your sweet self and imagine them hugging you, because she says the minute you do that, they are. Okay. So finally, in closing, you guys, I just want to remind you that letting go of your fears and I can talk. Letting go of your fears and anxiety is a practice of living and responding from the energy of love, and as we've seen, not from the energy and fear of fear. And on a practical level, this is the shift from the goal of protecting your ego self, from the need to be right, to win an argument, from the need to blame others, right, to that of actually being kind and loving with your actions, words, and deeds. The big thing when we're in fear, like I said earlier, it's you need to have a really swift discussion with that ego self and just ask it, or just tell it, be firm, like that one journal prompt, right? Just say, hey, dear who, like mine was Stanley, right? You always criticize and put me down, and you always bring up this naggy little whiny thing in my head. But the truth is this. And it resets you when you do it. But really, when it comes down to it, you guys, releasing your fear and allowing it to transmute to love with these techniques I shared with you today, it's really the willingness to stop needing to prove that you're a good person and to actually be that good person, to be courageous enough to open your heart and be that energy of love, even when your ego is having a fearful tantrum, because this is the truth. Life happens, right? And while sometimes life can appear to be stormy and really frightening, you can always, always, always choose to embrace the rainbow during the storm by tuning into the transformative power of love. And its promise, it's freedom, absolute freedom. Now, I know that A lot of times Alyssa talks to you at the very end, but we have our special miracle meditation that we're going to do together. So I'm just going to share what she wanted to share with you guys right now. And I did my little love Alyssa. She's a raindrop in here. She's not the scary monster. But let me read what she channeled to me, and it's very, very beautiful. And by the way, if you guys want a copy of what she wrote here of this channel message, just let me know. I'll do a cut and paste and email it off to you. But this is her words to all of you here. And you know, Alyssa is my team of 5, and they love all of you very, very, very much. So here it is. They say that into every life some rain must fall. What they say is true, but it's never mentioned that rain can be seen as either a blessing or a curse. And it's up to you to determine which way you will perceive it. Rain is invigorating, soothing, energizing, and sets the cycle of growth in motion. Nothing good can happen without the rain. So even though rain may be unpleasant for a time, it's never your enemy. You are your own worst enemy if you view the rain as being a curse. In reality, the rain is not a curse. It is a blessing. It is a precursor to your growth, a healthy, invigorating, motivating growth. The paradox of the rain is that in order for it to be a blessing, you must recognize and accept it as a blessing. It may be uncomfortable, but it's also preparing you for the good to come. It may be unpleasant, but eventually its drops will sink down into the earth and produce a beautiful crop. It all depends on the way you choose to see it. The way you choose to see it affects your whole attitude and your mood. Accepting the rain for the blessing it will become allows your progress to proceed. Rain always brings growth. It always brings healing. You are guaranteed of that. The paradox is that for the rain to bring growth and healing, you must accept it. As you accept it, your attitude and perspective begin to change. Rain brings wonderful changes if it's allowed to accomplish its purpose. Some people curse the rain and grow bitter against it. These are the people who never overcome their problems and never grow into their lives. The flower accepts the storm because it knows it will be watered. If the flower is watered, it will grow and blossom into something beautiful. Your growth and blossoming are at hand. Choose to accept its beauty and gladly choose to move through this garden with love. Love, Alyssa. Wow, right? Okay. How'd you guys like that? Did you like what she just shared? You can type yes in the chat box if you'd like. And I'm going to take off we have our aha moments and key takeaways here, and I am going to stop my share and go back to the video. So let me move, before I do that, I'll move my camera back. I had to move it to the side here. Okay, let me come, stop share, start video. I told you I'm getting pretty good at this, huh? It takes practice. I've been using when I do Zoom calls for clients too, so I'm getting pretty used to it. Okay, so this is our aha moments and our insights of something that we learned from the key take. It could be something that just, whoa, you had an aha moment, or something that really made sense to you, something that tickled your ears, helped your heart. So the floor is open, so feel free to unmute yourself if you want to share any aha moments or key takeaways. And then after that, we'll go ahead and we'll do our blessing. Okay, so floor's open. Whoever wants to start.
Yes, Alyssa's message made me think of the pandemic.
Oh, yes, huh?
Yeah, yes, that was definitely, and the shelter in place has been a trial, but it offered so much time for self-reflection that a lot of good things came out of it.
You know what? That was something here. I'm going to move my camera back so you guys aren't looking up my nose. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, you know, it's so true that you should say that, Betty, because a lot of people are like she said, they're bitter against the whole thing. They're bitter and they're mad and they're angry. But, you know, like I shared earlier, life happens, and it's not a matter of what's going on. It's a matter of how we choose to perceive it. And many people like you and I, we're going through a spiritual transformation. Not only that, we're going through a spiritual ascension. And I know a lot of you are feeling it right now. If you're here right now today, you're feeling the spiritual ascension. You're seeing underneath all of this, excuse me, I'm going to be very blunt, crap with what's going on. We see it differently with the media and all that. It's so fake. And a lot of people are so blinded by this because they're worried. They're blinded by the worry. So that's true. I agree with you, Betty. Thanks for bringing that up. That's so true. Okay, anyone else? I know a lot of you have something to say, so feel free.
I can go next if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, there's so many aha moments. I mean, between your story about, I think you called her Melinda. I mean, there's so many of those in my life, and I love how you've kind of dealt with it. So just sending them, love and light, or and visualizing that all was just a huge aha. And your journalizing, your journal tips also helped a lot, because I do struggle at times on what should I be concentrating on, and that I love the structure.
Great. Yeah, I love the journal prompts too. I mean, journaling is my go-to. I'm just so passionate about it, right? Because it really does give you a lot of inner breakthroughs. And like I said, if you take it out of your brain and you pump it down onto the page, you're always going to have some aha moments and some breakthroughs. But you have to do your part. Some people, they just do it up in their head. Well, you're not going to get anywhere. Your brain will loop over and over and over again. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you. That was very valuable. Anybody else? I know there's somebody else that wants to share. Look, I'm all red. It's hot in here. It's so we're 106 today here. Yesterday was 108. So, anyone? Am I going to have to choose on somebody?
When you were sharing about the prompts, I kept mentioning to my spiritual team, don't let me forget these ones. I mean, they really went straight to my heart, and I'm like, okay, I need to journal on those. For me, I do identify the fear. Then I'm like, what am I going to do with it? It's like and maybe sometimes in an attempt to transform it or transmute it into love and light, I might be shoving it deep inside instead of actually doing my homework so we can move forward. So I appreciate all the guidance, and I look forward to my journaling.
Yay! Yeah, Alyssa just said this. She said, some people try to hide everything under a blanket and pretend it's not there, and then send love and light. And she says, you can't. You'll never get rid of those fears and anxiety by covering them up, ignoring them. You have to face them. Like my mom faced the monster in the closet. You have to face them. What am I afraid about in this situation? What's my anxiety? And it's easy. You just have to list it down. And I don't know why there's just so much resistance to doing that. But remember how we shared in the beginning, what you resist persists. So it goes to say, embracing that monster, it's the most important thing you can do to transform, because it gives you clarity to see, okay, this is what I'm afraid of. Okay, what's my next step here? What can I do? And questioning, you guys, are powerful. Important questions and enlightening questions will always give you an enlightening answer, right? Enlightened. So anyways, thank you for sharing that, Maya. That was amazing. One more person, and then we're going to do our blessing. I'm going to call on you. She knows who I'm going to call on. I'm waiting. I'm going to mute you here in a minute. Your name starts with a K. Kathy.
Okay. A couple of things came up for me about fear. And one thing is that I've learned through my life that a lot of times the things that I'm afraid of never manifest. They never even come into existence. And the other thing that I've noticed about myself is that if I'm not focused on a fear, I try to find another one.
We tend to do that, huh?
Yeah, and it's really you know, if I could take all that energy and time and just focus it on more manifestation of calmness and what brings me love and what brings me happiness.
Right.
So it was all excellent stuff for me. I needed to hear it because with this pandemic, there are so many fears. It's almost like pick and choose.
That's true. Yes.
You know, turn anywhere and grab a fear, and you can relate it to your life somehow. So this was great. And I really liked the what you were talking about, the sleep affirmations, because I do a lot of hypnosis if I can't sleep, and I do hypnotic inductions, and they're wonderful.
Yeah. Is there a particular channel that you go to? Do you do YouTube or do you have like MP3 or?
Well, I have some of my own, but I use a lot of YouTube.
Yeah, me too. Have you ever heard of the ASMR psychologist?
No, but I did write that down.
She's amazing, you guys. And you know what? You guys should check her out. She is doing this for, it's a charity donation. So if you like it and you want, you can give her a love gift. But her channel is huge. You know, I like it when she does the whispering affirmations, but she's a real psychologist. So I love it when she does, like, she'll do some hypnosis, like for self-esteem, courage, confidence. She has all these different ones. And I mean, she's helped me with some breakthroughs with all this, with me preparing my videos and stuff. So it's all good. I'm so glad I'm over that hump. But thank you so much for sharing that, Dr. Fuller. I really appreciate that. So you guys, oh, wait 1 second. Sarah wants to share. She says she's apologizing to everyone. She goes, my microphone doesn't work, but Alyssa's message really touched me deeply. I tried the ASMR psychologist. Yes, she's great. I did it every night for the last 2 weeks. It worked every time, and I fell asleep. Oh, and I always fell asleep. Yeah, you guys, she has such an amazing voice. And, oh, and I like it too, because like I hear the noises. I'm a very, I'm clairaudient, right? So she'll like tap her nails on this little glass thing and she'll light a flame, like strike a match, and like, ooh, so soothing. But I always fall asleep too. She helps me to fall asleep. So she has various ones. So please do check her out. Okay. All right, you guys, I am ready for us to do the miracle blessing meditation. So what I want all of us to do, let me get my notes out here so I can read these for you. I want us just to kind of close our eyes once again. Obviously, if I don't think any of you are driving right now, so don't do this if you're driving. Some people might be on the phone, so listening to this on the phone. So, okay, so just close your eyes. Just kind of relax your whole body. Just take a few deep cleansing breaths. Just breathing in and just breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Releasing all tension. Just focusing on your breath. Breathing in slowly, in, and slowly out. And what I want you to do right now is place both of your hands on your hearts right now. And imagine your heart inhaling and exhaling a brilliant pink light. And if you have difficulty seeing it, you might just feel what that would feel like. Inhaling in this light, inhaling in and inhaling it out. This pink light is a light of infinite love. Allow this gentle cleansing pink light, as you breathe it in and out, to begin to permeate every bone, muscle, tissue, and cell of your physical body. Breathing in, this light in to your entire body and breathing it back out through your heart. Breathing in, one more time, and out. And as you do this, Feel liquid love beginning to brew, to tingle, and to warm your heart and soul. Just feel it gently tickling your inside of your heart, just tickling you with love inside and out. And feel yourself breathing this love and light in together. Breathing in love and light. And slowly breathing out love and light. One more time. Breathing love and light in. And slowly breathing love and light out. In this space of love and light, what I want you to do right now is to call into your mind that one thing in which you need your miracle blessing. Whatever it might be to you, just call it to your mind right now. And continue to breathe love in. And slowly breathe love out, while allowing your thoughts to be energized with the miracle power of love. The miracle power of love is the power of all possibility. Feel and bask in that miracle power of all possibility. The miracle power of love. Feel and bask in that right now. Feeling that warm sensation of love permeating every bone, muscle, tissue, cell, and organ in your physical body, in your thoughts, and in your emotions. Now, if it's safe for you to do so, open your hands and stretch your arms up towards the heaven. And as you do so, from a place of deep, peaceful love, and with your eyes still closed, imagine, hear, or feel the heavens opening up above you, and see your answered miracle blessing coming towards you. Your blessing may take many forms. It may appear as a dove, a rainbow, a specific symbol, a letter, a gift, or anything else. Everyone is unique. Keep looking upwards towards your blessing, feeling love, joy, and gratitude as it slowly floats down to you. And as you continue to look upwards, repeat after me, either silently or aloud, these following words. In the infinity of life where I am perfect, whole, and complete. Infinite love, work your magic. I am open and receptive to my blessing right now. Imagine, see, feel, or hear your blessing moving down towards you even closer than it was before. And once again, repeat after me, either silently or to yourself. Infinite love, work your magic. I am open and receptive to my blessing right now. We're going to do this one more time. As you imagine, see, feel, or hear your blessing as it moves downward to you, even closer than it was before, stopping a few inches above the top of your head. And repeat again. Infinite love, work your magic. I am open and receptive to seeing my blessing right now. Imagine, see, feel, or hear now, this time, your blessing as it travels downwards through the crown of your head and straight into your heart. Place your hands back on your heart right now and bask in a few minutes of gratitude, just with both hands on your heart. Just feeling so grateful that it's done. You have that blessing. And you're so very, very grateful for it. Feeling that. Now, before you open your eyes, what I want you to do, I'm going to program you, keep your eyes shut. And you're going to make an intention, we're setting an intention that throughout the day and throughout the following week, that you're going to watch for and notice the subtle signs and synchronicities as your miracle physically unfolds before you. Feeling the gratitude, it's done. Say with me right now, it is done, it is done, it is done. Now gently bring your attention back to the room. Take a few cleansing deep breaths and go ahead, open your eyes and stretch. And then I would like you guys to, well, maybe I can do it for you. Excuse me 1 second here. Oh, I'm going to have you guys do it. You guys go ahead and unmute yourself. All of you, unmute yourselves right now. Great, 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 everybody. Sarah can't. I realize Sarah's having an issue with her audio. But I would like you, and Sarah, if you want to share your experience, feel free to put it in the chat box. But I'd like you guys to share with us your experience of this blessing meditation and what your symbol was. Just state your name before you talk, and then just go ahead and talk.
This is Betty. I've been struggling with an hour programming class that I don't feel smart enough.
Oh.
So I visualize a course completion certificate saying that I passed already.
You got it. You got it. And you know, what you can do too, Betty, is remember just getting that feeling state of it's already done, because it's done. You saw it come to you. It's done.
Well,
right?
I also created a certificate and printed it and put it on my shelf already.
There you go. There you go. That's perfect. That's a perfect
an idea I got from Mike Dooley.
Yep.
Go straight to the end and yeah.
Yes, very cool. Thank you, Betty, for sharing that. Who else would like to share? What was your symbol? Come on, you guys. You know, you guys sharing helps everyone else too. So sharing truly is caring when we come to these transformational circles. And you don't have to be shy. No one's going to judge you. This is a safe place because we were your soul family.
I'll share. I just don't like to butt in all the time, but I'll share.
Okay.
Having some issues with one of my hips. So my symbol was dancing.
There you go. Cool. Your miracle is loosening your hips up. Anyone else?
It's Fazia. In my case, I just saw a gift box floating down towards me. It wasn't open. It was just something, basically what I'm trying to manifest is, my next move as far as my career is concerned, and the answer is in the box.
There you go.
It's in, my angels are just telling me that it's done. It's a matter of me just moving forward. Yeah,
Alyssa said it's just a matter of you opening up the lid of the box. Yeah, and that's the action of moving forward. Yeah. That's a nice symbol. I like that. Okay, one more person. You guys don't be shy. Oh, wait. Okay, so Sarah put in the chat box, she said, I manifested my physical body, finally healing completely from the issue I've been dealing with. And I saw the blessing as sparkles of healing energy, like really bright stars. That's really huge. That's really huge. I like that. And the sparkles and the stars, that really is healing energy. So hopefully you're able to feel them permeating. And I like that in this miracle blessing too, permeating every bone, muscle, tissue, cell, and organ, that love, because the power of love is truly healing, right? Thank you, Sarah, for sharing that. Okay, Alyssa's saying we have one more person to share. So I don't know who this is, but she definitely will tell me if you guys don't share. So you know who you are.
Okay, there's two then.
Okay.
Okay, this is Maya. When I had a vacation, maybe in June, like a 10-day vacation, and I felt like doing a vision board. I'm usually pretty lazy about these things, but I put one together electronically. Then I printed it on actual hard copies. And that's basically my life path where I want to go from health and other aspects. And I just visualized myself exactly where I wanted to be. And I just felt myself in the picture. You know how you get pictures from
Yes.
and I felt myself in that picture. And this has to do with connection with nature and deeply connected and still in the presence, grounded in love and light, and truly connected and receiving. And that goes with physical health as well. So I just felt that. And when I was holding my hands up, oh my God, it felt like, I don't know how much I was holding, but it felt like a lot of energy coming through. And it was beautiful. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't know. Did all of you feel that too? Because even when I was saying, I was feeling the loving energy pouring down. And that's the common with doing this miracle blessing. If you're feeling it, you're receiving it, baby. And if you didn't feel right away, but you visualized and you saw your blessing come down, you know you received it. It's done. I mean, literally, it's done. It just takes for us to do the next part. Okay, so who is the other one that was going to share? Was that you, Deb?
I can.
Oh, okay.
I was, we have a big move coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I want it to go really smooth. And so I had a vision of sitting in class in October and being in my new home, having class from my new home.
Oh, nice.
And I could actually feel like light, like when you're laying under a tree and the sunlight is coming through the branches,
mm-hmm.
pouring down on me.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, yeah. You know what? The first time I did this, I cried. The very first time I did too. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And then finally, Karen, did you want to share?
Sure, I can share.
Okay.
For me, it was a giant white feather floating down.
Oh, cool. That's amazing.
And just calm.
Yeah.
Calmness.
Yeah. I know. A lot of times, when we are under so much stress, and that white feather, it's symbolic of your angelic team, right? Your A team. So that's amazing. And that they're around you, working behind the scenes. And all of us are too. They're behind us, or literally behind us, but they're working in the scenes in our behalf and everything. But anyways, you guys, I am so honored to be able to share this blessing with you guys, and I really appreciate each and every one of you who attended today. It was meant for you to come, and these messages were especially made for you. Even though I have another group that I shared this with, I have 2 Zoom groups or meetup groups, and each and every person at that one was meant to be there too. So with these circles, I always know whoever comes and attends are the ones that need to be there. So I just wish all of you blessings, love, and light. Just, hang in there. This too shall pass. It really has to do with how we're willing to perceive what's going on. What are we going to choose to believe about this situation? And more often, what with our current situations where we're in fearful mode, a lot of us, our fears are popping up and we have to deal with them because we're sheltered in, right? So we're only with our sweet self, or we're with other people who we have to deal with. And so we're seeing what's going on with them too, and it's causing us concern. So this is just a way for you, what we shared today, for you to lighten the load and to get really clear and just to reset that love button, right, inside of your energy body. So I love you guys so very much. Once again, I appreciate all of you coming, and I will continue. I want to let you guys know, I send love and light to each and every one of you every single day, every day. every day. I do that for every single one of my clients. Every single day, I cover you guys in love and light, and I'm not going to abandon you at all. So that being said, I did, if you're interested, I did do a video on YouTube with a special channeled message from Archangel Michael about dealing with your fears and stuff. So please go check that out. It's my channel is just Dar Payment. You can just go up in the YouTube search bar, Dar Payment, and just leave me a comment there if you want to. Let me know if you appreciated the reading and what pile you picked, because it's a pick a pile. So, and you'll know what I mean when you go on there. But anyways, you guys have a marvelous rest of the week. A few announcements, by the way. We are going to have an inner child healing session. So it will be, it's going to be mid August. I have to write my note now. I'm not really sure exactly what day. So we will be having that, and I'll send the message out. It's a group thing. It will be a little short. It'll probably be about an hour and a half, and it will be something that I know some of you really need. Some of you had some inner child healing before, I know, but this is going to help you to do through a different type of layer. And plus you'll have the benefit of a group discussion, which is always helpful, right? But anyways, oh, the other thing too, I've been, because a lot of people have been emailing me, when are we going to have an angel party? Can we do one online? So I'm trying to work that one out for logistic wise. How am I going to do that? So I'll work that out, and we'll be having one. That probably won't be happening until somewhere in September, but definitely the inner child healing that I want to do with you all. Then I also, and I shared this, and I'm finally in the place of being able to provide this to you as well. I am also going to share with you guys a class on intuitive tarot, you know, how to use the tarot cards or the oracle. You can do it with oracle cards too, to where it's how I learned to read. You don't have to go by the symbols on the cards. You go by, I mean, the meaning of the cards, you do by the symbols. So I was taught not necessarily the actual meaning of the card, by the book. I was taught to look at the symbols, and so that's how I learned, and that's what I will teach you, the benefit of how I learned. But other than that, once again, you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. Have a fabulous month, and namaste till we meet again. Love you guys.